What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be ranking all of Treyarch Zombies maps. This is completely opinion based. There's no factual statements behind this because all of the maps are opinion based on which one's better and which one's worse. But let's hop right into it. The worst map, in my opinion, is Outbreak. Yes, it's more of a mode, but it just has all maps in it. But I did not like it. It felt very unfinished, very rugged. They could have done a lot to change that, but with the newer zombies, they don't really put like how the old zombies used to feel. Like, I'm not gonna give any like tips for higher rankings, but like the older type of zombies. My next lowest is definitely gonna be Transit. This one wouldn't have been bad, but because of hardware limitations back then, the map couldn't be as good as it's going to be. I bet you've heard this from a lot of different Call of Duty Zombies YouTubers. Just because of hardware limitations, it held the map back a lot. The denizens, the fog, and everything like that. But one of the worst maps, in my opinion, is going to be... Where's it at? I can't find it. Die Rise. One word. Tim Henson said it, I'ma say it. You fall off the damn map way too much. Like, it's just unbelievable how much you fall off the map. I cannot tell you how many times I fell off because of the sliquify or just missing a jump in general. But the next horrible map, in my opinion, is definitely going to be Dead of the Night. I didn't really like the map, so I didn't play it a lot, so I don't really know much about the map just in general. I just did not really like it. It was too complex for me. Same thing with Ancient Evil and Voyage of Despair. I couldn't get into it because I didn't know really what to do. I looked up guides, but they still weren't that helpful. So I'm gonna put, even though they had amazing, what's the word? The map was built amazing, like it looked amazing and it felt amazing. I couldn't find my way out. And Dead of the Night's gonna be at the F tier list is because it really doesn't it doesn't really deserve to be an F. But let's kinda move on to the D tier. I say the best D tier is definitely gonna be Nocturne Toen. Is because it wasn't bad. It was just super bare bones. You had the box, you had wall buys and doors, and that was it. It's because it was kind of like the foundation of zombies. So you can't really ask for a lot. You can ask for what we got on kind of like Forsaken or D Machine or Moon, because it was like the first map, and there was not a lot to build off of. Next one's gonna be Nuketown Zombies. I was not that big of a fan of Nuketown Zombies because of the RNG and just a small map. Like, it did way better as a multiplayer map, not a zombies map. They should have just kept it in multiplayer, but sometimes I'll hop on it and hang around with one of my friends, just trying to get to high rounds. But then the next Deer Team map is definitely going to go to its younger brother, Alpha Omega. No, there is a reason I didn't put this one in F tiers because one, it's a little bit more open than the last one because you got the bunker area, and then another thing is the Mark II upgrades. Like, you had like 4 different versions of the Mark II. I enjoyed running around with them. But the next D tier, you guys probably saw this one coming, Dead of the Night. Didn't really play it, but it had an amazing area. It felt nice to play on. And that's going to be the same thing with Ancient Evil and Voyage of Despair. All 3 of those, they had an amazing build, but I couldn't get into it, and it wasn't really that fun for me. Now the last D tier map is going to go to Dr. Toen. Why? Is because they had a perfect map and they kind of messed it up, especially with the budget cuts on Black Ops 4. If they had a decent more decent budget, they could have made this map a whole lot better. I just did not like the wonder weapons that they put on the map. The sniper wonder waff and I forgot what it's called, but it's the ice version of the thunder gun. They just didn't really fit in on that map. Yeah, they were cool, but they just didn't fit in on that map. Now let's move on to C tier. I would say farm is definitely on the C tier. Again, it was kind of like knock. I don't know why I put it higher than knock. It's just because, I mean, you had perks on that map and you had a bigger area to train on. I enjoyed farm and a couple other of those green run maps is because they weren't that bad. I did make one miss up. Bus Depot is going on D tier for sure, is because you ain't get no perks, too much lava, not really enjoyable. Alright, back to C tier. Another C tier map is going to be Classified. I enjoyed Classified. It was a bit of an upgrade from 5, still not better than 5, but it was a bit of an upgrade and a downgrade at the same time. Like, it was more open, there was a lot more things to do, but I mean, one of the first maps was 5. It was like the 6th map, so you can't really be mad at it. And the next one for C tier is going to be Shangri-La. I enjoyed Shangri-La a lot, but it was too small for me, and whenever I was playing it, I wasn't really that good. So I'm going to say Shangri-La, the reason why it's in C tier is because of a skill issue. I was not that good whenever I was playing Shangri-La, and I haven't really been able to go back and play Shangri-La now that I'm older and I'm better at Call of Duty Zombies. But it's still a good map, just not the best. The next C tier is going to be Blood of the Dead. It's definitely not as good as Mob of the Dead by far, but I mean, I enjoyed playing it with a couple of my friends, just chilling out, not really doing anything, getting the Hell's Retriever, just camping on the roof, pack-a-punching whenever it would spawn in on top of the roof, and just killing zombies, killing the Brutus, everything like that. The next C tier map, in my opinion, is going to be Moon. I loved Moon, I really did. It's just, it wasn't my type of map. Like, I have a certain set of maps that we're going to see at the S tier that I felt were perfect, but Moon could have been perfect if I wasn't trash at the game when I played it. I know it's like an amazing map, quality and visually, and the goddamn excavators is one of the worst things about it. I hate having to do the Easter egg and waited for the damn excavator for like 30 rounds. You guys feel my pain though. The next C tier map is definitely going to be Shinonuma. I love Shinonuma. Has the highest round in Call of Duty Zombies history. I don't remember what it was exactly. I'll put it up on screen now because I can't think of it off the top of my head. It was a fun map. It introduced a lot of things like perks. No, Verruct added perks. It added traps and everything else like that, and it was a decent sized map for its time. I really enjoyed it, but I don't know. I was young at that time, so I was still trash at zombies. Alright, let's move up to B tier. Keener der Toten. I enjoyed it. I really did. Just, it's not the best in my opinion. Like, there was still some flaws to it. But I do still enjoy it. I still go back and play it quite often, actually. But it's just really comes down to personal preference on all these zombies maps. Next up is IX. It was really fun. I was still kind of young whenever I was playing this map. And I really just now kind of learned how to play through the map and do the Easter egg and whatnot. Back then I would just kind of train in the spawn room with like a RK7 and just die and constantly. But I mean, who can blame them? Well, I mean, I wasn't that young. I was still decently old, but still, I was decently young. The next B tier map is definitely going to go to Shadows of Evil. Amazing Easter egg. I just hated that it was 4 players. That's really what brings it down. 4 players is... Other than that, the map was really good. It was very open and just decently sized, in my opinion. The next map is going to be Mauer der Toten. It's one of the most newest Call of Duty Zombies maps. The Wonder Weapon was absolutely amazing in it. It just... The Easter egg, I did not really like, because I went for the super Easter egg on Cold War. I didn't really like the map. I died to that boss fight so many times because the boss has a infinite damage attack, which if you don't get in cover quick enough, especially with some of the places that you have to fight the boss, you'll just die instantly. And if all of your teammates are out in the open, if you're playing with a squad, you're just going to die. And that was my biggest takedown from the map. My next favorite one is going to be Town. My favorite from the Green Run maps, I think that's kind of like everybody's favorite Green Run map. Is, I mean, you had Pack-a-Punch, you had 2 box locations, you had perks, you had just about everything you needed in that map. Fun playing co-op, fun playing solo. You'll never get bored. It was also, like, I think one of my first round 20s ever. The next map is going to be Forsaken. It was a fun map. Great Wonder Weapon, great Easter egg. But just to me, a lot of Cold War felt rushed. I don't know why it felt like that to me, but it felt super rushed at the end of it. But, I mean, it was still a good map. It was like my 3rd round 100, 2nd round 100. I don't really remember. It was a couple months ago. Another B tier is going to be Verrucht. It introduced perks, it introduced power. It was decently small, scary atmosphere, especially when you're younger. I never complained on this map. Except for whenever you spawn on the quick revive side, and that water keeps on dripping on you while you're trying to train early rounds to get points. That sucked a lot. Other than that, it was a really fun map. Alright, let's move up to A tier. Yes, I do see that there's another Forsaken, but we're just going to kind of leave that out of it because it's not... I didn't know this one had it until I started recording. The first A tier map, in my opinion, Zetsubo. I love Zetsubo. I loved the Easter egg, the Wonder Weapon. I love that they added new things, especially with the spiders, a new round boss. Well, I wouldn't really call it a boss. I would call it more of a special round. But the spiders, it was really cool. They could lock up perks and stuff like that. Kind of like how Mob of the Dead had it. Where as a Brutus spawned, he can lock stuff down. That's kind of like how the spiders on Zetsubo were. But it was a lot easier to get the spider webs off of stuff on Zetsubo rather than having to pay like some of your points from Mob. But I mean, they're still both really good maps. The next A tier map is definitely going to be Firebase C. I enjoyed a lot of Firebase C. I enjoyed the one boss that would come every 20 rounds. That was a bit of an issue to battle. Same thing with like the Easter egg. Easter egg felt really nice to play through. I did hate the mimic step glitch that was there for a little bit, where if you messed up, another mimic wouldn't spawn, and it was a whole thing whenever the map first came out. My next A tier map is definitely going to go to Gorod Krovi. It was fun. I struggled with it a lot whenever I first playing it, like especially getting to Pack-a-Punch. I struggled with that a lot. It introduced some good special zombies, like I can't really think of them right now. I'll put them on screen. But I really did enjoy this map. Easter egg was very good, especially with the Mech Nikolai and the dragon. It was just really nice. The next A tier map is going to be 5. It was small, it was good. You had the Pentagon Thief, you had the Eminem Easter egg song, you had... I mean, the Wonder Weapon was pretty crappy, but... Hey, I mean, some maps gotta have a drawback sometimes. But it had a really good atmosphere, especially for being the 6th map and one of the launch maps. It was still really good, though. Now to another A tier map is definitely going to be Call of the Dead. Had Daddy George Romero in it. The creator of Zombies. It had a really good thing. It had a decent wonder weapon. The other one we don't really talk about because that one just kind of sucked. It was just really fun to use. It was really fun to play, and what I thought was kind of cool when they added was with George Romero's health. It started at 250,000, then it went up 250,000 every time a new player was added. So if it was 4 players, it was 1,000,000 health. And I mean, it was worth it to kill him because if you did the Easter egg, you would get a free perk and a Wonder Waff. And just a really fun atmosphere on that map. Another A tier map is going to go to Ascension. It's because I loved Ascension. I really did. There's not really that big of drawbacks on it. Except for the monkeys needing to take two shots by the wonder weapon to kill. That one I found was pretty annoying. Besides that, it was a really nice map, especially if none of the monkeys touched the perks, you would be able to get a free perk. It was really fun though. It was like my first round 50. Of course I did it on the Black Ops 3 integration of Ascension, which, I mean, it was still good, but not as good as the original. Our next and final A tier map is going to go to Doris. It was the first map to bring in Pack-a-Punch, and it was just really fun with the teleporters, the Thompson, the Wonder Waff. But I mean, if you did shock yourself with the Wonder Waff, you would lose Jug. Not the icon, just lose the actual effect. Which that was the only really bad thing about that and how they never patched it. But I really enjoy that. So let's move on to the final tier, S. In my opinion, the best map in all of Zombies is Origins. It was so ahead of its time. It was amazing. That's why people nowadays will look at newer Call of Duty Zombies map and like say, this isn't as good as Origins or Mob of the Dead or anything like that. It's because those maps were ahead of their time. And I think that's what really people look at when they see maps nowadays, is they are thinking of, they want to compare it to Origins, Mob of the Dead, Der Eisendrache, Revelation, stuff like that. But I mean, nowadays they still have good maps. It's just not as good. The next map is going to be Buried. I loved Buried. It was so fun, especially with Leroy and the ghost girls and the house and the candy and beer. It brought a lot of depth to the map that you would have not have thought in a game that came out in 2012. And then the next one's going to be Mob of the Dead. You're kind of seeing a reoccursion. A lot of BO2 here is because BO2, in my opinion, had like some of the best zombies, except for like Doris, Transit, stuff like that. I mean, with Doris, Die Rise, sorry, you can't really bring that one back. But with Transit, that was hardware limitations all the way. And with the Green Run maps, they were just trying to keep it simple and fun. Next one is going to go to Der Eisendrache. Fun map, fun Easter egg. I struggled so hard on doing the Der Eisendrache Easter egg solos because I kept on messing up, but I finally got it. It was really fun. I mean, I loved all the bow variants. They kind of tried to go back to the origin sense of that, which I kind of enjoyed. The next out of the last two maps is going to be Revelations. Revelations was fun. It was a kind of a good and bad way to end off Black Ops 3. The Easter egg was amazing. It kind of saving Max's perfect realm after the Shadow Man was released from the sphere. I forgot what it's called. I'm going to put it up on screen. I keep on forgetting stuff today. But it was an amazing map. It was very in-depth with everything, and it was just amazing. Now for the final map, D Machine. I loved it. Whenever I first started playing Cold War, is around a month or two after it dropped, and I fell in love with D Machine because of the Easter egg. I didn't complete the Easter egg for a while. I kept on trying and trying and trying, and it was just like a new kick on everything. It's where I got most of my guns good for Dark Ether, and it was just really, really fun overall. But it's not like Origins, Buried, or Mob type good. It was decent in my opinion, and I really, really liked it. But that's gonna end off our tier list, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And make sure to leave a like and comment down below if you guys want me to continue this type of content with Call of Duty Zombies or tier list or just explaining stuff, and I would be happy to do that. Have a good rest of your day.